So I got my new phone. But this is cheap actually. 200, $200. Oh, okay. Because I pay like $6 per month, something like that. This is the telephone I have right now. This new telephone, Moto G Power 2021 review. Excellent battery life for just $200, a little more. Um, Last year review by Christian the Looper. And it's not too bad. The stars has like 4.5. No, yeah, 3.5. 3.5. Pros: excellent battery life, stripped back software, solid design, huge display. Con: subpar camera, 72p display, missing NFC. What is that? Not sure what is that. I know there is some time I experienced like this like nice picture, and then when this video is coming up, like there is something like I'm not sure if that is the best display or something. Maybe this one has to be 720 pixel display. That 720 is not too much compared to the, I think the 1000 whatever it is. Let's check it out. The Moto G series has long offered excellent value for money. Adorno's recommendation guide for best budget phones brought a reliable experience to those who don't want or need a flagship phone. Certainly this is my case. I'm not, I just want a phone that's working okay. But in recent years, competition has heated up with phones like the iPhone SE, the Google Pixel 4a, and more, offering flagship level features for only $100 or so more. The 2021 Motorola has updated the Moto G series with the headline phone, the Moto G Power getting an impressive price tag of only $200 or $250 for the top model. I believe this is the 200 is US dollars. That is $100 less than the Pixel 4a, $150 less than the iPhone SE, and significantly undercuts other phones of a similar quality. Is the Moto G Power the way to go for phones under 250, or should you keep saving? We put the 2021 Moto G Power to the rest to find out. Now, the 2021 Moto G Power looks and feels like a natural progression from last year's model. It has a similar design on the front, with a hole punch cut up for the front-facing camera on the top left of the phone, and a slightly larger 6.6-inch H2H display with a small chin of the bottom. On the bottom, it looks nice for a sub $300 phone, especially when you consider the fact that just a few short years ago, H2H display commanded a healthy premium. On the back of the phone, you got the camera module, which has been moved to the center in a square camera bump. I don't really mind the fact that the model is centered, and while putting up in the top left might have it look like more on the line with more expensive phone. It still looks good where it is. The back is of course plastic. The slimming out looks cool, but feels cheaper than it looks. Obviously not as premium feeling as a glass device. Around the edge of the phone, you got the USB-C port on the bottom, and thankfully a headphone jack on the top. On the right side, there is a volume rocker and a power button with a fingerprint sensor built into it. The sensor worked really well in my testing. It was fast and accurate, which is very nice to see. You will have it to get used to use the power button to get into your phone if you aren't already, but it is a small adjustment. As mentioned, the display is at 6.6 inches, and this has a 720 pixel resolution, which is noticeably lower than the last year. There you are, 1080 pixel display. You could debate that. It's hard to tell the difference between 1080 pixels and a 1440 pixel display, but the difference between 720p and the 1080p display is definitely noticeable, and it's frustrating to see Motorola step back like this. The display does the job, but at a bare minimum. I do wish Motorola included better water resistance here. The so-called water repellent coating hold little more weight than a marketing message, and the change. And chances are those buying $250 phone don't want to have to replace it if it accidentally gets wet. That is a feature that all phones should offer. Under the hood, the Moto G Power offers a Qualcomm Snapdragon 662 processor coupled with either 3GB of RAM and 32GB of storage at the base model of 4GB of RAM and 64GB of storage for $50 extra. There's also a micro SD card slot on either case for expanded storage. I got a micro SD card. I could use that. I got a couple SD actually. I know one I use for my tablet, and the other I think is for my old phone. I think I'm going to use this for the new phone. Weirdly enough, the base model of the phone actually includes lower power components compared to the last year Moto G Power, which came with a Snapdragon 665 processor and 4GB of RAM, though I suppose that makes sense given the new lower starting price. Now the impact is pretty minimal, and actually the phone performed pretty much the same as a benchmark. The 720p display likely helps there. Snapdragon 662 and 665 are built on the same architecture to use the same GPU. After all, the notable shortcoming are a few missing audio components and a lower-end modem. But it's still a little strange to see Motorola take a step back like this. At a minimum, you expect the same chips that year over year. Interesting, eh? Interesting what I just read. But anyways, for me, it feels like I using a new, wonderful phone. So, and they use the Moto G Power perform decently well, with a few skips and jumps every now and then, as is to be expected for $200. Generally speaking, the device was responsive and fast to react even during basic mobile gaming and multitasking. Playing a game like Call of Duty Mobile working well, and while there was the off-drop frame and started of game like Asphalt 9 still work well enough for most. Unfortunately, Motorola still hasn't brought NFC to the Moto G line, so you still can't use a feature like Google Pay. Oh, this was a minor compliment. This was a minor complaint a few years ago. At this point, that is a major omission. Certainly it is. So I cannot use Google Pay. I don't need it, but anyways, the Moto G Power comes with a massive 500 mAh battery. As it shows, that is the same as last year, but this is one situation where we don't mind that is not an upgrade. You may end up getting an even better battery life thanks to the lower resolution display. And it's still, pointing out the lower resolution display. What? Most modern flagship phones offer much smaller batteries. The iPhone 12 Pro has around 2815 mAh battery, while the Pixel 4a has a 3140 mAh battery, and consider those phones are more demanding and have a higher resolution display they last significantly less. Battery life is one of the biggest reasons to buy Moto G Power. Well, I don't have it all that long for the test the phone, but based on my initial testing, I'm certain you can get 2 days of use out of the device, and even into a third day for lighter users. Really, battery life on this phone is that good, and one of the core reasons to buy it. The Moto G Power supports fast charging of up to 15 W, but unfortunately there is no wireless charging here. Cameras. Oh yeah, this is exactly the telephone I bought. See, the exactly model, exactly the color. Actually, this one. Like the 2020 Moto G Power, the 2021 model has a triple lens camera. Motorola has, however, swapped out the ultra wide camera for a depth sensor, and the result is a less versatile experience. You got a 48 megapixel main camera with a f1.7 aperture. However, it has been effective output of 12 megapixels, given the quad pixel text that Motorola and most other companies is using. Along with that, there is a 2MP macro camera and a 2MP depth camera. Now, this is supposed to be the picture coming from Motorola. Yeah. Photos from this phone are pretty boring. What the fuck? Photos from this phone are pretty boring. Color are mute. Despite the quad pixel technology, there's a little more noise in photos than I would have liked. Using the macro lens is fun for 5 seconds before you get over the green cheek alert and realize you are probably never really use it in the day-to-day life. That's reality of every cheap macro camera, sadly. What? Now, it's not at all bad. The phone is capable, but not much more. I get it. This is a $200 phone, but when you have a phone like the Pixel 4a at only $100 more with a stellar camera, it's hard not to complain. I remember this phone I got from the Costco, from somebody who's selling me like just, and I say yes, yes, yes. Everything is done in like 5 minutes. Now I realize that's not one of those phones, but that's okay. I feel myself like I'm using a new phone anyways. But I actually agree with this guy that say that the camera isn't that great. Anyways, let's check it out the software now. One of the best things about Motorola phone is the software experience, and that remains true here. The Moto G Power has a strip back software experience that should appeal to anyone that wants to cut out the fluff. It is almost stock Android and is as such as responsive and easy to navigate. There's a few tweaks to the system though. The Moto G Power runs what Motorola calls my UX software, which include gestures like the ability to take a screenshot by touching the display with 3 fingers, silence the phone by picking up when it's ringing, or twisting the phone to launch the camera. Through the Moto application, you can also easily change wallpapers and the home screen layouts and turn on the game time mode, which lets you tweak how notifications and power work while mobile gaming. It is all relatively helpful, and it's really nice that Motorola has added all of these tweaks and settings in the Moto application rather than breaking them out into the user interface and cluttering everything up, something that other manufacturers have done. The new Motorola Moto G Power is available starting at $200. I still think that's 200 American dollars actually, which is impressively inexpensive. That gets you the base model of 3 GB of RAM and then 32 GB of storage, or you can bump up to $250 for 4 GB and 64. I think this is what I have, this one, which I recommend. The base model comes in silver, shows in this review, and the higher model comes in dark gray. After a brief pre-order period, the phones are available for purchases as of January 14, straight from the Motorola website, Amazon, Walmart, Best Buy, and more. Motorola's distribution is exceptional. The device comes with a standard 12-month limited warranty, which pretty much only covers manufacturer defects. You will want to be careful with your device, particularly consider this water resistance. Thank you. This is the Moto G Power isn't going to break any record or blow people away with features, but it offers a solid experience with a huge display and a stellar battery life at a low price. It will find a place on our list of best cheap phones available today. Sure, if you can afford to pay more, you should, but if $200 is your budget, this phone is the one to get. Yes, is there a better alternative? Yes, if you can pay more. I want to explain this. I actually went to Costco with Sandra the other day, like as I said, a couple of weeks ago in Quebec City. And then I went to check it out, something over there, telephone stuff, because I was thinking maybe I can change my telephone stuff like a while ago. And then I approached somebody, and then and then they start to say, "Hey, do you have this? This is your plan? What company you work with?" Stuff like that. And then it starts saying, "Oh, I give it to you a better phone. This is telephone. You will not pay anything. Everything is." You have to just pay like $6 per month, stuff for 24 months. And I say yes, yes, yes. You sign over here, sign over here, sign over here, and that's it. I got this telephone like I don't even know what is the price, what is the nothing. I know that there's a Motorola is I basically see the picture in the box and stuff, and it's like brand new, and I say okay, everything is like high technology, and because you got to update your old phone, and my telephone actually is working fine. I got this telephone like 5 years ago, something like that, 2018, 2017, something like that, and that is about 5 years now. And so now this is the first time I read this review, and that make me like completely happy, but that's okay. But I have more than 250. Like if I had to pay like even 350 or 450 in my budget, I could do. This I was able to do that, and to buy like brand new telephone. But as I said, I'm happy with what I got because I don't use. I don't know how to say. I don't use much all those application and stuff. It's just basic telephone. Yeah. Uh, okay, so is there a better alternative? Yes, if you can pay more, if you can stretch your budget to $350, then the Google Pixel 4a is easily the phone to go for. Thanks, this better processor, day one software updates, and a great camera. It doesn't have a size or battery life of the Moto G Power, but those are easy trade-off. If you get straight to $400, it is also worth consider the iPhone SE. No thanks, no iPhone. But I know that it's a bit of strange when your initial budget was $250. So an Android launch, the Pixel 4a is the phone to beat. Alternatively, there is something to be said for just by last year's Moto G Power. It is still available and now discounted to $220 as not as effectively the same performance, plus a high resolution screen and the same amazing battery life. This could be the 2021 G-Power's biggest problem. How long will it last? The Moto G-Power doesn't have a real water resistance to lean on, but the plastic body should survive most drops and dent. With care, the phone should last standard 2-year cycle, though at the end of that 2 years, it will probably start seriously slowing down. What the fuck? Thank you. In other words, you're telling me that, oh, your telephone, okay, 2 years, that's it. Then you will see something that's coming down. Slowing, seriously slowing down. That is, well, thank you. It is is there a better alternative? Not at this price range. The Moto G Power is far from perfect, but at $250, he insists that it's a cheap phone, but that's okay with your budget. Oh, he insisted that, oh, you got 250, that's it.